The police were summoned by the neighbors because Scrappy flipped a whole dam and lost it. Table yelled and smashed a glass. So this is due to the fact that Bambi has been concealing an entire child that isn't his. Little Scrappy's mistake was just struck by not a rumor, but the decade's betrayal, not a guess. A youngster with a full secret. Bambi and a very other man never uttered a term that he discovered via a direct communication that was leaked rather than in-person discussion. But a screenshot was obtained. Bambi froze and didn't blink at 2:47 a.m. "Who is this young boy calling? It's none of your business, you mother." "Boom, mama. Ada's on Instagram," she added, live shedding genuine tears and hurling scripture passages that resemble confetti. Steve J has been too silent, and rumors are already circulating that he was familiar with the streets all along. Scrappy, tiny Scrappy, and I were conversing, perched on his bed's edge with his eyes focused on the phone he was holding, screen like he was attempting to wish it away. The communication was a single text message with a picture with a caption that said, "You don't tell lies about a child. You illuminate the entire world, so simply shatter the trust." The room was filled with a burning family. Quiet. The sort of quiet that cries more than words could possibly express. He is dangerous in addition to being heartbroken. Now, and this is only the start of the text. Thought you should know. Image of Bambi and his spouse holding a he had never seen a child before. Yet in her heart, Scrappy knew that this little... Did he not text with trembling fingers? Phoned twice in a row and received no response? The walls appeared to be close to voicemail. Inez's head was filled with recollections of the birth and their wedding day, the pledges they made to their kids, because all that was now contaminated by this discovery was made in order to identify responses. Scrappy took a car to their house. Things they formerly had in common, but that was Bambi was now in a home of mysteries. Startled to see him, he remarked, "We need to speak." She held up his phone, examined the image, her face a mask of feelings, such as astonishment, remorse, and anxiety that it's not. "What do you think?" she began, and he insisted, then clarified, and following a brief Bambi reluctantly acknowledged that the youngster was hers from a short-lived romance. While they were apart, she had concealed it out of concern that it would be condemned and of the death of their family. Scrappy sensed a change in the earth below. Him, his beloved, and their life together constructed, now covered in falsehoods, he departed silently, acknowledging the weight of treachery weighing heavily on his shoulders, and as the word spread, the media became aware of. Fans, relatives, and friends started to inquire, how is this possible? What would come next? The stage was prepared for a Scrappy drama that would captivate everyone, and shortly after, the internet started analyzing all the information, with Twitter entering overdrive with the headlines and the story regarding the breaking of Bambi's hidden kid. The narrative of Scrappy's world abruptly altered direction using Bambi's screenshots and the child's anonymous viral blogs that assert they have one. A fake birth was even disclosed by the account. Document with the father's name mentioned as a really familiar CVJ, the man who had been Stevie J, spending time with the inexplicable for months. The family started to piece things together, information, such as the evenings Bambi was away from home, and the trips she stated were for employment. And in Stevie J's enigmatic post from last year, with images of infant shoes as a bottle with the following silent caption, "Big blessings loading. Is the storyline possible? Get thicker when Mama D leaped." She wasn't going to relax, you know, discreetly. Thus, that same evening she went live. Before admirers were inundated with remarks, she shouted this without even holding back. "I have stated this woman wasn't the ideal match for my kid," she yelled. Her voice trembled. "I knew a snake was in the garden," she said. And now everyone is discussing the father as Stevie J. Bambi was all along cheating. "Scrappy has to get that infant a DNA test as soon as possible," she said. "Mama D wasn't. done. It isn't just one thing about adultery. She stated as the stream continued, she hinted at treachery from their loved ones, those they reliably assert that there are records, chats, and agreements that were inked behind closed doors. And I got a voice message saying that my son was set up. She mentioned receipts and DMs notes saying, "This my kid, this is true and not a rumor, is broken, everyone." He last called me at night. She paused and wiped a tear from her eye. I wept as though a child had just lost everything, and the pain was palpable. The weight and betrayal of meanwhile, everything is collapsing. Scrappy was no longer there. Therefore, there were no social remarks or media posts that made things worse by nature, because when everyone is observing, quiet is loud, and the theories. In that quiet maintained, a growing number of anonymous insiders started to surface, including one of, according to them, Bambi had been alive, raising a double life for almost 2 years. The youngster in a different flat that Stevie J alone covered. The cost of another source who was purportedly near the producing crew for Love and IP. Hop said that Laha had been involved in this conspiracy and deliberately maintained a secret in order to protect some reputations. However, now that there was one thing that was true, there was no denying that tiny Scrappy was experiencing a breakdown in emotions, and the entire globe was observing. Every action of silence was brief. And by day, asterisk. At last, Lil Scrappy made a return, but it wasn't what the fans had anticipated. Expected no comment or live video, only one devastating video of our NDAs were disintegrating, and blogs were. YouTubers were consuming it in large quantities. Issues and the supporters were sneering at sides of Team Bambi or Team Scrappy and posting on Instagram with a dark screen and the message, "Everything isn't pain. Ice is always what it looks to be. Genuine." In only a few minutes, it became viral. Fans, bloggers, and even famous people started to make assumptions on whether the rumor was accurate regarding Bambi and if he had discovered a hidden child. In fact, but before anybody could inhale, an unnamed informant comes forward to a questionable online blog site Accelerated when they stated that they possessed evidence of medical records. Being leaked pictures from a child's birth certificate, with a true gut punch, and the traits of Bambi. Lil Scrappy were not the father's name. According to the site, the child was born. But Scrappy and Bambi were still together, and they even asserted that Bambi pretended to hide the baby, to go away on vacation and disappear into a fan and a health resort rushed into an old Instagram photo of Stevie J tales from that era and found a spooky background recording of someone sobbing an infant that had the exact same voice as one of Arizona's homes to Bambi. Yet that health in reality, the retreat was a private maternity DJ's in a suite reserved under a fictitious name. It returned, but this time it was as the person who reportedly assisted Bambi in hiding daughters. All up, and as if Kirk Frost couldn't get any dirtier, unexpectedly showed up in the chat area and reposted an enigmatic quotation that stated, "Some individuals like playing family games till without labels or labeling. The reality emerges. Where present, yet everyone was aware of its identity, was aimed at." Following that, screenshots of private direct messages sent between Bambi and her alleged baby daddy showed up, demonstrating her entreaty to him to maintain being silent and avoid ruining what I'm attempting to keep Scrappy safe. He isn't worthy of this. What's even stated in a mail that I developed? By now, the streets were burning, and Mama D, who never hesitated from an altercation, went live on Instagram with a drink of alcohol and a mother's fury, yelling, "You lied," after being duped. That isn't allegiance to all of us. Mona Scott's cowardice didn't end there. In response to inquiries about why Stevie J was even involved, Mama D looked at them directly from a telnola and whispered, "Because of his involvement. More than you may imagine if you neglect to air. I swear to. LL, this will be on the upcoming season. I shared the video myself. So you believe I have cheekbones and I'm playing that baby." Similar to how her audience was taken aback by the comments exploding theory. which included Bambi, in a few, even the suggestion that Erica Dixon was somehow. The long-running fraud said that Scrappy was the biological father, but having secretly relinquished his rights in the meanwhile. Scrappy's group released an ambiguous request for privacy when he addresses current affairs that have had a profound effect on his family. Truth will ultimately surface, so until afterwards, we requested peace, but there was no more blog-leaked audio found. Actual audio from a rage-filled phone Bambi and Scrappy's chat. He was shouting at her while crying, screaming, "How could you deceive me in that way? Even genuine. You broke me," shouted Bambi. Popular pity at that time. His voice was too composed, so I took the necessary action. Would you not comprehend, fans who have Scrappy was previously chastised for his? The sins of the past were now pouring out. His page with assistance, but he didn't. One admirer responded, "You were misled. King remained strong." Meanwhile, the alleged baby daddy emerged, but he wasn't on a popular platform. Instead, he moved to live from a parking lot pace on TikTok, and shuddered when he told me the truth. Avoid all of this if you're having to listen. Friend, I'm sorry. The following morning, study this method. Images from the paternity on Twitter, confirmation went viral, demonstrating that the youngster was not. The worst thing about Scrappy's was that the child's name was derived directly from the middle names of Stevie J and Bambi. Not that I want to be famous, but I won't let that woman continue to deceive me about it. Contacted me regarding it. At this stage, the whole hip-hop and love series was being. Fans were requesting Mona, according to the query. Scott and the other actors should speak up. K. Michelle started to weigh in and wrote, "I mentioned to you years ago that these individuals are incredibly disorganized, and that there isn't anything genuine occurring behind those Joe's line." Hernandez even posted a video with the following message. So the user said the deer gave birth to a baby when everyone else was laughing. Lil Scrappy didn't say anything till 2 in the morning. When he went live one night in a gloomy room, gasping for air and sobbing, I would have uncontrollably taken a. If I had loved her, I would have taken a bullet for her with everything I had, but instead, she stabbed me in the back many times. And love sprang into the discourse. I refuse to sit here and act like a victim. Errors as well. But this devastated me, and I had to begin over. And Scrappy put an end to the abruptly ending the live feed and the following. Fans of the morning noticed something strange. All of Bambi's photos had vanished from his page, including all of his recollections and postings, which made it much more evident that he, Stevie J. Kirkbakken, was unfollowed and Rashida N. then silently for the next 48. It seemed like a cultural earthquake for hours, with bloggers failing to maintain their following, making conspiracy films, and individuals returning and piecing together hints from previous love and hip-hop episodes, highlighting uncomfortable side-eye silences with mysterious statements. From Bambi, like some things are best left undone when she's around. Camera, he remarked casually. Everyone believed it to be a TV drama. But now it seemed like a prophecy, and right at the end, it appeared like everything could be resolved. There was a fresh voice in the conversation room. It was Lil Scrappy's, Erica Dixon's former girlfriend and his child's mother. The oldest daughter didn't share a go live on Instagram or send a suspicious tweet. I attempted to caution him, and she wrote in as she stated in the full-length YouTube video. Now that everything is publicly available, I must admit that Scrappy isn't excellent. I informed him that he didn't deserve this. There was something about Bambi years ago. Didn't agree with me. She hesitated. She appeared lifeless. It started with her. While seated in a dimly lighted environment, her voice calm but forceful. I didn't say anything since in under 1 hour. The video had fans and 500,000 views who were referring to her as the most genuine person and praising her candor. Even Mama D, who was notorious for her issues with Erica, shared a video again with the caption, "The truth can occasionally be found in the places where you don't expect to be respected." Bambi doesn't publish anything in the interim. Nothing is spoken. And then suddenly, the accused co-conspirator scheme twist, Stevie J performed what he always does, dousing a fire with petrol and lighting the whole fucking match. On fire, he went live without a shirt in a studio, sipping a beverage and smiling as though he found chaos. And everyone wants to act similarly like saints. Yet in reality, it's a whole different film. Did you assist? Bambi conceals the infant in the conversation. Said, "Listen, guy, I've been a big help to women. They tend to conceal a lot of things that are of your company." The web took that as a yes, and to exacerbate the situation, a blogger posted an old, previously unseen image of Bambi and holding hands. Stevie J, then a couple of weeks before Bambi's enigmatic fans, retreated in a hotel lobby in Vegas and swiftly made the connection that Reddit was full of hypotheses. Stevie J that did Bambi's father employs Scrappy as a cover for the marriage as a whole. Deliberate action, and then another bomb was dropped from VH1A, this time, which disclosed that Atlanta's Love and Hip Hop was planning a unique get-together, was not. It was Shakespeare in reality TV, a filthy, nasty, and brutal strip club entertaining. The episode's premise, DNA and secret scandals, were that the whole cast would reunite to discuss the dispute. But the real kicker was that it would be recorded live without editing. And Lil Scrappy was broadcast live, became radio quiet again in the meantime. And his group published another that declares that Scrappy will not be appearing at this time on any reality series, since he is focused on getting legal and helping his family. Everyone went into a tailspin after receiving guidance. Once more, there were rumors that Scrappy had submitted an application for exclusive custody of his kids, with Bambi asserting dishonesty, emotional suffering, and instability, per an insider. Regarding bringing a claim for emotional harm and dishonestly misrepresenting it sounded dramatic. Paternity? But the rest was entirely believable. The voice note then appeared. A strange voice recording that allegedly originated from a conversation on the phone between Bambi and Anne in the footage. The unnamed companion is a woman who sounded uncannily like Bambi says, "All I wanted was time, and I didn't want him to. I couldn't raise a child that wasn't his. Accomplish it alone. Stevie said he would assist. I trusted him to fix it." So headlines, "The confession of screaming Bambi leaked," were all that was required for the internet. The statement became a trend on Twitter, and the soundtrack was reproduced by TikToker Stokers. Well-considered pictures of famous individuals, the plot changed at this time due to betrayals. Went beyond rumors and became into a eventually, Bambi shattered her during a cultural event, quietly sharing a screen grab of her. Instagram Notes app provides a quick but strong message. "I'll always defend my children, even at my own expense." Everything that people like about making up stories to suit their amusement. Therefore, think anything you like. Just know that Mama D shared a video that I had to do, in which she replied to Bambi's declaration soon after. But it didn't, she read it, so quit the criticism. Loudly and mockingly. "Oh, I did, what must I do?" she repeated. Sarcastically, "Girl, stop talking. What did you do? You desired to do. And you ruined my evening celebrities in the process of having a baby boy and could no longer ignore it." 50 Cent, who is always eager to cause trouble, posted the previous live broadcast of Scrappy. "Damn, even Ghost didn't," he said. "Endure this level of treachery," and tweeted that the turmoil around Bambi Scrappy had a Netflix series with more surprises. But Lil Scrappy said nothing. Amid all the chaos, the indignation of memes, and treachery up until the last Instagram post changed everything, turning everything into a black, and fans immediately recognized the image of him with his daughter, in white, that the battle was just beginning. And while the public waits for further releases, further video, and perhaps even a one thing about a courtroom encounter, is a certain Lil Scrappy will not be attending. Not after everything he's been through, down softly lost, not after learning all of this. Because when the heart of a man breaks, Bambi, occasionally it becomes a weapon. could have thought that she had buried the truth, but it doesn't remain. Hidden, it excavates itself and emerges from the depressing wrapping on your front door. Tell me whether you're wearing a wire while on the tenacious side, or continue to believe in I am aware of your ideas. Bambi, so please subscribe and share, as we'll be releasing audio the next week, which seems like okay, now that you've heard the love tale. All of this is bizarre spins and twists. Here is the story of Bambi and Lil Scrappy. I want you to do more than simply sit, family, there and participate. What are your thoughts? Regarding this child's hidden bombshell was the one who initiated everything. Lil Scrappy Bambi is the brains behind this catastrophe, behind everything, or is there a reason? Darker at work. Express your ideas and most outrageous hypotheses in the comments section. I read each and every remark, so if you're here for the secrets and the drama, and the reality that nobody else will reveal to you, press the like button as if it were your last. Additionally, remember to subscribe, then press the bell to ensure you don't. The narrative is far from finished, and if you'd like to be the first to understand when a bombshell occurs, remember that this is your front door. Buckle up, hit his channel. Sign up and prepare for the adventure. As we dissect the most breathtaking, there are uncensored celebrity scandals online, real or fake, without a filter, and without. Stay fascinated the next time. Keep your distance and prepare those receipts. Fragments.